An active legal war inside the High Court and a sudden lockout from a historic royal residence can instantly trigger a massive public relations firestorm, especially when it involves the most polarizing figure in modern royal history. According to media reports, the highly anticipated return of the Duke of Sussex to his homeland has descended into total operational chaos behind palace doors, sparking intense global speculation. Sources claim that an initial official offer to host the prince inside the walls of Buckingham Palace was abruptly pulled at the absolute last minute, leaving royal insiders and international commentators deeply divided over the true motivation behind the sudden eviction. You see, managing the complex public image of a modern constitutional monarchy under a constant media microscope leaves completely zero room for administrative slip-ups, which is exactly why keeping track of these fast-moving global events requires a highly reliable information source. So if you want to stay completely ahead of the curve on every breaking royal update and structural transition, subscribing to this channel right now ensures you never miss a critical breakdown. But what hidden catalyst truly caused this historic palace invite to completely disintegrate within hours, forcing the prince to seek alternative shelter in London? Well, palace representatives alleged that the decision was a purely practical scheduling issue, claiming that the Duke failed to formally respond to the accommodation offer before a strict internal deadline, making it logistically impossible to arrange the complex staffing and royal protection details required to secure a king's son. Now, you might think a global team of high-powered representatives would know how to respond to an RSVP on time, but apparently even elite logistics coordinators can trip over basic palace deadlines, giving critics an absolute field day to allege that the scheduling excuse is just a polite cover story for a much deeper family fracture. Yet this administrative disagreement is merely the surface layer of a much larger crisis, because an even bigger mystery is currently brewing around the highly sensitive timing of a major legal verdict that was handed down in the London High Court during the exact same week. Reports suggest that senior palace courtiers expressed deep anxiety about the constitutional optics of having the prince residing under the king's official roof at the precise moment a major judgment regarding unlawful information gathering was made public. When senior working royals and crown officials choose to distance themselves so visibly from an immediate family member, it usually signals that the legal and political stakes are far higher than the public realizes, leaving us to wonder if the institution is actively shielding itself from controversy, or if the internal communication lines have simply broken down beyond repair. Honestly, from a completely neutral perspective, navigating this level of global public scrutiny is an incredibly delicate balancing act. The royal household must protect the dignity of the crown at all costs, but these abrupt public reversals only serve to feed the media machine, ensuring that what could have been a quiet private stay becomes a massive international headline. However, just as commentators began debating the palace's strict deadline policy, a completely separate conflict erupted regarding the ongoing and exhausting battle over taxpayer-funded police protection. Representatives for the Duke claim that the initial delay in accepting the palace room was entirely due to the complex process of organizing independent, high-level private security teams after official state-level protection was denied for the visit. The security apparatus of the state operates on incredibly rigid legal protocols, and if an individual does not meet the precise criteria for official public funding, they are left to navigate complex international transport logistics completely on their own, creating a massive logistical headache for a high-profile figure who faces genuine public safety challenges. This ongoing security standoff raises a fascinating psychological question about modern celebrity status. Can a prominent public figure ever truly separate their personal family life from the rigid operational demands of a global institution, or are they forever bound by the institutional rules they chose to walk away from? My personal view is that there is still a clear path toward reconciliation if both sides can pivot away from public statements and focus on direct, private communication to resolve these structural issues. But achieving that requires addressing the most critical elephant in the room, the polarizing nature of the public debate itself, which instantly categorizes every single logistical update as either a deliberate snub by the Crown or a calculated manipulation by the other side. According to communications experts, when a family disagreement is handled through formal legal statements and media spokespeople, the original message gets completely lost in translation, creating an incredibly volatile environment where even a simple room availability issue looks like a declaration of war. Rumors persist that these recurring public disagreements are making major international charitable organizations nervous about their long-term event planning, out of fear that the constant media circus surrounding the founders could completely overshadow the vital philanthropic work being done on the ground. This leaves the overall brand framework heavily dependent on maintaining a very tight, highly controlled public presence, which is increasingly difficult to achieve when every single travel plan is subjected to microscopic analysis by the international press. Ultimately, the next few months will be absolutely decisive for the operational future of these high-stakes family dynamics, determining whether the two sides can establish a stable, quiet working relationship or if the lines of communication will remain frozen indefinitely. The world continues to watch this unfolding modern saga with immense curiosity, and every single official statement, travel update, and court appearance will be passed for clues about where the true power lies, leaving the public to guess the final outcome until the next major international gathering finally brings everyone back to the same table.